Have you ever found yourself wondering why, at certain moments, God seems distant, almost silent? Life, with its storms and challenges, can sometimes make it feel as if the answers we seek are locked away somewhere. But what if I told you that this silence might have deep and meaningful reasons? Imagine a father who, at times, chooses to step back and observe his child, allowing them to learn on their own. Sometimes, God's silence is an invitation, a call for reflection, growth, or even an opportunity to reconnect with Him in a deeper and more meaningful way. But what should we do when this silence becomes deafening? How can we turn this waiting period into learning and strength? Stay with me, because in this video, we will explore 5 surprising reasons that could be behind God's silence. Each moment of silence could be the gateway to a new revelation. Let's embark on this journey of self-discovery and faith together. The difference between our time and God's time is a challenge many people face in their spiritual journey. It is natural to desire quick answers and immediate solutions, but often, we encounter what feels like a deafening silence. This silence can be frustrating, leading to a sense of abandonment or helplessness. It is as if, in the busyness of daily life, we cry out for help, yet the answers do not come when we expect them to. This frustration often arises from our expectation that God should operate on our schedule. We are accustomed to solving problems quickly and efficiently, and when this approach does not apply to our relationship with the divine, disappointment can set in. However, it is crucial to remember that God's timing is different from ours, and often, silence is part of His plan. Trusting in this divine timing is an exercise of faith that teaches us to become more patient and resilient. Understanding that God's silence can also be a form of communication is essential. Sometimes, He may be shaping our character or preparing the way for us to receive what we have prayed for. Shifting our perspective in this way transforms frustration into anticipation, allowing us to see silence not as abandonment, but as an opportunity for reflection and growth. When we learn to align ourselves with divine timing, feelings of despair can be replaced by inner peace. On the other hand, trusting in God's timing requires practice and discipline. It is an invitation to deepen our faith, to seek understanding of divine plans, and to be willing to accept that we may not always receive the answers we seek. This process leads us to develop a more intimate relationship with the divine, where trust and surrender become the foundation of our faith. Silence can be a space of waiting and hope, a period of preparation for what is to come. This journey of trusting in God's timing teaches us that every stage has a purpose. We learn to value not only the answers but also the process of waiting. Silence invites us to search more deeply for meaning and connection, transforming frustration into an exercise of faith and patience. It is in this space that we discover the beauty of surrender and trust, allowing divine timing to work in our lives. Modern life, with its busyness and endless commitments, often pulls us away from God's presence. The lack of prayer and meditation, which are essential practices for maintaining our spiritual connection, can create a deep void in our lives. It is easy to get lost in daily responsibilities and forget to nurture this important relationship. Regular communication with God is crucial for us to feel His presence and guidance in our lives. Establishing a routine of prayer and reflection can be challenging, but it is a practice worth prioritizing. Setting aside a specific time each day to connect with the divine can help restore this communication. Whether in the morning upon waking up or at night before sleeping, these moments of dialogue with God can bring clarity and inner peace. Reading the Bible can also enrich this experience, allowing sacred words to resonate in our hearts and guide our journey. Another way to strengthen communication with God is through meditation. By quieting the mind and opening the heart, we become more receptive to the messages He wants to convey. Meditation helps us listen to our inner voice and recognize that even in silence, we are connected to something greater. This quiet space is essential for spiritual growth and the renewal of faith. lack of communication can sometimes lead to feelings of loneliness and disconnection. However, when we make a conscious effort to reconnect, we can turn this barrier into a bridge. Spirituality should be seen as a continuous commitment, where communication with God is cultivated daily. This helps us develop a more intimate and meaningful relationship with the divine. As we re-establish our communication with God, we begin to realize that He was always there, even in the moments when we felt distant. The consistent practice of prayer, meditation, and reflection brings us closer to His essence and helps us find the comfort and wisdom we seek. This renewed connection provides clarity and purpose, illuminating our path and guiding us through life's journey. When we talk about God's silence, many may feel discouraged, but in reality, this can be an incredible opportunity for personal and spiritual growth. It is as if God is giving us time to reflect on our lives and seek a deeper understanding of ourselves. In moments of quiet, we can turn inward and discover aspects of our personality that were once hidden. The pursuit of knowledge through books, courses, or mentorship can become an enlightening path, where, instead of complaining about God's absence, we open ourselves to inner transformation. This silence can also lead us to connect with spiritual support groups, where we find others going through similar experiences. Sharing stories and lessons with others can be deeply encouraging. These interactions help us realize that we are not alone on this journey. Often, it is through exchanging experiences that we find the strength to keep going. Connecting with others gives us a renewed sense of belonging and understanding. Additionally, the practice of meditation and prayer can be a fundamental pillar in this growth process. These moments of introspection allow us to listen to ourselves and to God's voice, even when it seems like all we hear is silence. It is in this quiet space that we can receive insights and wisdom that previously went unnoticed. Silence can be fertile ground where new ideas and values take root in our lives. Finally, it is important to remember that personal and spiritual growth does not happen overnight. It is a continuous process that requires patience and dedication. When we embrace silence as an opportunity, we develop a mindset of constant learning, where every challenge becomes a stepping stone to something greater. And so, what once seemed like a spiritual desert can transform into a field of blooming flowers, filled with possibilities and discoveries. God's silence is often a test of faith. In moments of uncertainty and discouragement, the absence of answers can make us question our beliefs and even God's presence in our lives. However, these experiences should not be seen as signs of weakness or abandonment. On the contrary, they can be seen as an invitation to strengthen our spirituality. When we face silence, we are challenged to trust more deeply and to persevere, even when we do not see or feel God's presence. This test of faith can be compared to physical training. Just as muscles grow stronger through effort and resistance, our faith solidifies when we go through adversity. Each moment of silence is an opportunity to practice patience and resilience. Instead of giving up, we can use these times as fuel to continue our spiritual journey, knowing that perseverance is a highly valued quality in our walk with God. Moreover, silence teaches us to appreciate the small signs of hope. Often, it is in subtle moments that we find confirmation that our faith is leading us in the right direction. This process sharpens our awareness, helping us recognize blessings around us, even in times of difficulty. We learn that faith is not just about receiving answers, but also about trusting the journey, even when the path seems unclear. Viewing silence as a test can be liberating. Instead of feeling alone or abandoned, we can see each challenge as an opportunity for growth. This shift in perspective encourages us to seek the best in ourselves and deepen our connection with our spirituality. This connection gives us the strength to keep moving forward, even when the answers seem far away. It is essential to remember that we all experience moments of silence in our spiritual lives. These periods do not define our faith, but rather, they shape it. They invite us to deepen our trust, question our beliefs, and become more resilient in our pursuit of a closer relationship with God. Ultimately, every test of faith is a chance to grow stronger and more connected to the divine. God, in His infinite wisdom, often communicates in ways that are not so obvious. Sometimes, we become so focused on expecting a clear and direct answer that we end up overlooking the subtle signs He sends us. It could be a conversation with someone that offers a new perspective, a book that falls into our hands at just the right moment, or even an unexpected event that makes us reflect. These small nuances may actually be divine messages in disguise. Recognizing these signs can be a true challenge, especially in a world filled with distractions. The rush of daily life can make us lose sight of the small guidance points that God places along our path. That is why it is essential to cultivate a more mindful awareness. Moments of silence and introspection can help us realize that, even when we don't hear a clear voice, there is much to be learned on our journey. Additionally, the feelings we experience in certain situations can be seen as forms of divine communication. Sometimes, an internal urge, a sense of peace, or even restlessness in our hearts may indicate that we are heading in the right direction, or, conversely, that it is time to change course. These feelings are not mere coincidences, rather, they are ways in which God guides us. We must also remember the people who cross our paths. Many times, they bring messages that touch us deeply, whether through advice, encouragement, or even a simple smile. These interactions can be seen as God's instruments, reminding us that we are not alone and that He is always present in our lives, even in silence. Finally, it is crucial to understand that silence is not a sign of absence, but rather a different way of communicating. Learning to recognize and appreciate these signs is part of our spiritual journey. When we begin to see the world around us with greater awareness, we discover that God's presence is more constant than we ever imagined. Silence, therefore, can be an opportunity for growth and deeper connection. Have you ever stopped to think that God's silence might be a fundamental part of your spiritual journey? Sometimes, this silence is an invitation to reflect, to dive deep within yourself, and to seek understanding. Remember, each reason we discussed today is an opportunity to grow and draw even closer to the Creator. How can you apply these lessons in your daily life? Have you ever tried to pause and truly listen to what God might be saying in the silence? What if you made a commitment to pray and meditate, even when the answers seem distant? And what if you could turn this silence into a space for learning and connection? What steps would you take to cultivate a deeper relationship with Him? Never forget, every challenge and every moment of uncertainty is a chance to strengthen your faith. If you enjoyed this content, like, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and don't forget to subscribe. What does God's silence mean to you? Leave your thoughts in the comments. We are in this journey together.